Hello, Pisces. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Pisces is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Pisces, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. 4 of Pentacles, stability, safety, security, okay, integrity. This is definitely a card of routines and habits, but instead of routines and habits, why don't we call them like rhythms and the rituals of our lives, right? Those little daily things we do that are so sacred and so important that they make all the difference. Your true power is not in these big, grand gestures, but in these little things that we do every day to show up, to prove we care, to prove to ourselves that we're in it. Wake up every day and we put our shoes on and we tie our laces, or do the Velcro, or the zipper. And, you know, those little habits, just those things that we do every day, those little habits and routines, the little rituals and rhythms, yeah, they're holy things. And that's how you make progress. It's not just leaping over a tall building in a single bound. It's step by step, day by day, compounding efforts, building those foundational things that it's the platform from which you can reach for the stars. Yeah. It's a good week for that. Let's put this into a little bit of context. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, ooh, look at that. Queen of Pentacles, beautiful. 4 of Wands, 4 of Pentacles, 4 of Wands. The little things, completing those little tasks, setting your life up so you can get those wins daily. That before breakfast, you can get like 20 wins under your belt, you know? Accomplishing those things and the feelings of that. Oh, here's a Knight of Wands. Princess of Swords and a little Hermit energy. Yeah, this is going to be a very good time for slowing down. This Knight of Wands energy is in last week's vibe, right? This week's vibe is let's stay home, let's do the little things, let's focus on what we can accomplish, you know, before breakfast, like just gentle, steady, the little things, the little steps we can take. There we have the Temperance card, 3 of Wands, 9 of Swords, and a Knight of Swords. The 9 of Swords is in the position of what we do not want. And yeah, we don't want stress. We don't want to feel rushed. We don't want anxiety. We don't want that kind of turmoil. We want slow, steady. We want some alone time. We want some downtime where we can just focus on our little habits and rituals and routines and rhythms. Yeah, let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down right over here, Pisces, with Tiny Bob Ross right on top. We're not going to look at that happy little card until the very end. It will tie everything together and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card might be, please put your prediction in the comments. Right downstairs in the comment section, okay? Now, as we look around the room, we see 2 majors. We see the pressure cooker art temperance card, you know, blacksmith's anvil kind of energy as your general energy. Then we see that the way forward is solitude, recovery, recuperation, downtime, slowing down, spending time with yourself, spending time in nature, focusing on those little things, do tinker, put around the house, as my grandma used to say. She's like, I like living. My grandma, she, bless her heart, she's 96 years old. She lives in an assisted living place now, but she lived by herself for as long as I could remember, right up until a couple of years ago. So she was like 94, and she was still living alone at home. And she'd always say, you know what, I like living alone. I like just being able to wake up and just sort of putt around the house and do little things, I want maybe go outside, do little errands and things like this. Those were her routines and her rituals and her rhythm. And I feel like that's kind of what this vibe is. I don't know how many of you are in your 90s. Let me know if you are. But let me know, all of you Pisces, let me know how you're going to try to embody this energy this week. Maybe life is still very busy. Maybe there's still a whole lot, you're kind of feeling the pressure with the Temperance card as your general energy. How are we going to do our very best to embody this kind of like just staying home, slowing down, and just kind of putting around the house? Let's do this as much as we can. Yeah, we've got fire over here. We don't have any water. I feel like we need some water. We've got the air energy over here. Up here, we got our earth cards. We need some of that refreshment. We need some of that water. Yeah. But let's start with our Four of Pentacles. This is stability. This is a week for protecting what you've already created. Okay? You can do that literally by doing the maintenance on the car, doing the maintenance on the house, mowing the lawn, fixing the thing that has been broken for a while that's always needed fixing. Doing those little things, those little chores around the house. It's going to feel really good to get them done. And you don't have to rush. You get to sort of take your time. Yeah. Protecting what you've earned, protecting what you've built. Set boundaries for money. Set boundaries on your time. Now is a week where we're shutting the doors, we're locking the doors. If you want in, you got to knock. And I might just pretend I'm not home. Just depends on who you are, So you're being very protective of that energy. If you have any kind of down, maybe life is just so darn busy that you get an hour or two, you get one day off a week, you're going to protect it, right? You're going to clear your calendar. You're going to say, I'm not answering the phone unless it's an emergency. I'm not going to answer the door until I can sort of peek out the window and see who it is. You're being very protective and setting those boundaries for your time and your money. So you kind of have the closed sign on the window or the do not disturb sign on your life right now. And I just imagine somebody sort of, living, staying at home and just turning on some calm, peaceful music. Just you're in your kind of lounge clothes, maybe not your pajamas, but like sweatpants, And you're just kind of like, I don't know, just floating around the house, figuring out what you want to do. Yeah. And you're not letting anybody disturb that. So healthy boundaries. And for money as well. I think your resources are kind of moving into a phase of more saving and making sure that, maybe this whole month has been a lot of spending. And now it's just kind of like, okay, I just kind of want to rebuild a little bit of my emergency fund. That's kind of how I look at the Four of Pentacles. Kind of this is our emergency fund. This is our cushion. This is our safety and stability. This is a kind of foundation that we have. This is the water, shelter, food, and fire. Those basic needs, kind of doing that stuff. So it's self-care, it's financial maintenance, it's energy maintenance. It's a really good week for that. Okay. Protection is up this week. You're choosing safe people, safe plans, safe boundaries. Again, you're not going to open the door until you look out the peephole, and then even then you're going to, probably pretend you're not home. This is a week that's really going to reward the structure. So, give yourself a to-do list. and just say, okay, you know what, I get to kind of go through that list and I get to kind of choose what I want to do. I get to check those boxes off, tick them off the list, and it feels good to complete those things. Being organized, being in your own rhythm, focusing on those routines and rituals are going to bring you a great peace of mind. Yeah. It's a good week for saving energy, conserving resources, because maybe you're planning for something bigger down the road later. Okay. Very grounded energy right now with this one. And you also have a very grounded Queen of Pentacles as well, yeah? And the Queen of Pentacles is generous and wise, but also knows how to say no, you know? Right now, the focus is on your comfort and your care and the peace that you're bringing to your home. This is a homebody. This is somebody that is just enjoying their pets, their plants. Maybe there's some people around there, maybe not. This is just someone who would just like, you know what? For me especially, my life is so busy. If I'm not here filming and doing the YouTube stuff, I'm taking my daughter where she needs to go, picking her up from school. She's got other classes, and she does jujitsu pretty much every night of the week. And so there's a lot of running around. So when we actually have time to just stay home, let's say on a Sunday, we're just going to stay home, then it's really like, I want to enjoy that place that I'm in. You know, I'm going to wear my comfy clothes. I'm going to eat the food I want to eat. And I'm going to cook, I'm going to clean, I'm maybe going to fix that, maybe I'll put together the bookshelf. But I'm just going to enjoy being home, do what we can to dilate time. When you're moving fast, the hours go by like this. So this is an energy that says slow down, literally walk slower, talk slower, and you'll see that your day feels longer. And those days where we get to stay home in our comfy clothes and just do the things that we kind of want to do, we want those days to last forever, don't we? Or at least for a while. We don't want them to go by like this. Before you know, it's Monday morning again, man. So this is the time dilation energy, you know? But I feel like you're bringing that kind of peace and that sort of care to your home, that comfort and that pleasure, okay? Follow your intuition when it comes to your resources. I feel like you're saving, but if there's an opportunity to like go to the supermarket and find like a really yummy vegetable that you can cook up, you know, something a little bit special, then do that. You know, if there's something that you kind of want, it's a self-care day probably, you know. If there's something that you've kind of been needing to do for yourself, but you've been putting it off because, well, life's been busy or haven't had the money or the money is going to other places, do it for yourself now. Buy the thing on Amazon, you know. It'll be here before you know it. Nurture those quiet routines and rhythms and rituals that restore your strength. It feels really good. I think it's going to be a really cool week, really nice. This is the beauty. Yeah, the beauty that you're bringing into your space. Personally, you know, physically, and around you physically in your environment, you're bringing beauty. You're creating beauty in those small, simple ways. Yeah. And that's beautiful. I love that. We could just linger in these two cards forever, you know. But you also have the Nine of Wands. Now, not the Nine of Wands. The Knight of Wands is over here. The Four of Wands. This Four of Wands, to me, because of its Venus in Aries energy, it's kind of saying that, like, you are taking more of an interest in the way things look and feel to you. So it's kind of like when you're looking around your environment, how does it make you feel? Is your environment very conducive to comfort, pleasure, relaxation, self-care, love, and strength? Or is your environment right now kind of feeling chaotic because, it's maybe it's set up in a more functional way, or it's set up in a more like, I don't know, efficient or like economical? I kind of feel like when you have everything out and on the counters, it's within reach. So when you're in your Knight of Wands energy and you're rushing around, you want everything to be already within arm's reach, right? But then when it's time for some downtime, when you're done with all that rush, you kind of want to just put everything away so it creates like a calm peacefulness. Environment matters. That's what this card is telling me. Yeah, environment matters. Understand what kind of a vibe your environment is giving you and what little things you can do to bring a little bit more peace and comfort and pleasure into that environment. This is also a card of completion, celebrating the wins. Everything that you tick off your list is an achievement. Celebrate it. It's kind of like, okay, as soon as I get, one page of my homework done, I'm going to have a little bit of ice cream. Every math problem I finish is going to be a bite of ice cream, Reward yourself right now for all of your accomplishments. That's what you need. Okay. This is harmony in your home situation. Maybe if you're having friends or family over, maybe. A peaceful home right now is going to be everything. It's going to set you up for whatever's coming next for you. Rest and reward yourself after your efforts. Follow through, finish the things on your list that you've been meaning to finish, but don't do it with any kind of haste or rushing, anxious energy. And be grateful for the stability that you're creating in your life. This is like gentle responsibility. Okay? Joyful comfort, peace, and beauty, and a gentle responsibility that we're going to try to get some stuff done, but there's no rush. There's no hurry, Because I think we had that. We had that rush and hurry energy back here with our Knight of Wands, fast changing, exciting energy, traveling maybe, rushing ahead, right? There was a lot of energy, a lot of bold opportunities that you took advantage of. You took a lot of leaps. You were confident and courageous. Your passions were high. I think you made a lot of progress. It was a very busy week, And I think maybe there was a lot of things, a lot of plans shifting. A lot of things you had to pivot midair, It took a lot of flexibility, a lot of adaptability. And now I think you need the downtime so that you don't burn out, so that this doesn't overwhelm you. And this could be like you're going right back to this next week too. So let's take a day, let's heal from that. This took a lot out of you, I imagine. Okay, so but I think it was necessary because I think you made a lot of progress. I think you started a bunch of new things. Maybe there was it was a week that was packed full of stuff. Yeah. And having a little bit of downtime now is going to be very, very good for you, especially with our Princess of Swords. Because in this downtime where we're in our jammies or our comfy clothes, our sweats, and we're just sort of kind of lounging around the house, doing a couple of chores here and there, and just, feeling good generally, right? We might start getting a little curious. In this downtime, we might start, investigating some new subject. We might start reading something or seeking some kind of truth or researching something. We might be getting a lot of new ideas. We might be thinking more. And I think that's a good idea. And it's not even thinking about anything in particular. It's just wondering about stuff. I wonder what life would be like on another planet. I wonder what aliens would look like, Just wondering things. Not contemplating really, but just being curious, being silly. Wherever your curiosity takes you. I just see somebody curled up on the couch in their comfy sweats, and they're just like, you're just You're looking for some weird documentary on TV to watch or on YouTube or something, or you're Googling all these random subjects and just seeing where the rabbit hole takes you. Okay, it's kind of generating new ideas. You're kind of getting your creativity, flowing again. Yeah, because I think that there is going to be a lot of busyness later, next week maybe. This is a good opportunity to start getting just some random ideas. It's not even there's no purpose, I guess is what I'm trying to say. The Princess of Swords is just asking questions and learning and reading and flipping through pages and asking questions and watching different YouTube videos and just taking it all in with no real plan to it. It doesn't have to be organized. It doesn't have to be intentional, really. Allow it to be spontaneous. Because I feel like that's going to lead you to something. Yeah. Going to lead you to something. So we've got a hermit energy too. I feel like this a period of downtime is going to lead you to some sort of inner truth or inner revelation of something. It's going to lead you to some maybe certainty, some kind of inner light. Okay, so the quiet time is going to help you to recharge. This is the curiosity and the comfort that we see with our queen and our princess. I feel like it's going to lead you toward a revelation or a realization about what it is you really want, or what you want next, or even maybe an inner truth or something that you really value, or something that kind of, I feel like wakes up the water energy, something that you kind of, you're discovering something that you really kind of gets your heart going again. You say, oh, there it is. It's in there, it's beaten. I can feel it now. Yeah, because we don't have any water in the reading. So maybe that one, you need the self-care, you need the compassion. And then two, maybe you need something to really love, something to really care about, something that, so you need to fall in love with something. And through this curious, exploring kind of relaxation energy, I feel like you're discovering something, okay? You're able to listen to your own wisdom, hear your own intuition, hear your own soul that's kind of telling you what it wants now. Maybe it's just really the lack of water is just life just got really busy, but there's not really a lot of room for joy. It's life's good, but there's no real excitement, or there's no real depth of love, or I don't know. We want that water energy in here. I'm really hoping the mystery card is the Ace of Cups. Yeah. So at least for a day, stay off the noise. Maybe even take a little break from some of the social media. Now, we got to talk about the obvious conflict, right? Because the Princess of Swords is just kind of browsing, scrolling, looking at different things, investigating different things. That's not the same as doom scrolling or just being on social media because we're bored, This is letting your mind seek out things that it's actually interested in. Very different than the hermit who is just avoiding distraction. I just don't want the noise. Because if we have that quiet day where things settle down, then we'll start to wonder about things. So first we gotta turn off the noise, because then we can hear our own thoughts. Our thoughts might be curious, I wonder what it would be like to, to have to have two heads, And so it kind of is leading us. Whereas the noise and the static, if it never stops, then there's really there's nothing of any value there, okay? And I don't have anything against social media. I'm on it. I make my living on it. I love it. But I think that there is a lot of noise out there. There's a lot of very interesting things. You have to know what you're interested in. You've got to be able to listen to your Princess of Swords and just get curious about things and go watch those videos. But don't just mindlessly scroll nothingness. Okay, so that's the difference. I want to make sure that we sort of are, We're on the same page there, okay? So anyway, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. These readings are totally free. And let me know which card on the path of the dove really is speaking to you the most. Okay, so we have the Temperance card here as your general energy. Balance, patience, so everything can run smoothly. This is a pressure cooker energy. And this is your general energy. I feel like, Pisces, it's hard for you to relax. I feel like it's difficult for you to relax. I feel like it's, anytime you try to relax, you kind of feel all the anxiety or all the hectic, busy schedule responsibilities kind of creeping in. Okay, that makes sense. And it really, it's difficult, yeah. It's difficult to separate the two, your rest and your sort of responsibilities. Okay, we can't really compartmentalize. You know, they say, well, you leave work at work, and when you get home, you're home, you know. So you don't bring your work home with you. Well, some people need some kind of transition time. It's not black or white. It's not just you flip a switch and suddenly I'm in dad mode and I'm not in work mode anymore. Sometimes, and I remember this as a kid, my dad would come home from he had an office job for a while, and he would come home really stressed out. He did sales for a van line moving company. And he was a truck driver before, and then they brought him in to do sales, and it was stressful, right? So we'd come home, and I'd want to play, and he would just say, you know what, I need to unwind a little while. I didn't really get what that meant. I thought it just meant he didn't want to play with me, you know? And now I get it. Because it takes time. Sometimes we need that transition. We need to be able to ease into it so that the work stuff can fade away and our nervous system can calm down. And then we could get into our other mode. Yeah. So it may take you a while and maybe that's kind of the problem with we get Saturdays and Sundays, at least in the US. It's like you get weekends off, right? At least some of us do. I don't, but the stereotype anyway is that, you know, Monday through Friday you got your work week and then you got your weekend. Sometimes we don't even get close to unwinding from the week, and then it's Monday morning again. Because our nervous system is that rattled that it takes more than 2 days to bring that nervous system back down to a place where we can just enjoy the time off. Okay? So how can we make that a faster process? How can we calm our nervous system down more quickly so that we can enjoy, like, I want to be able to flip a switch and say, nervous system, back to baseline, I'm good to go. But it doesn't work that way, okay? So I think we need those healing routines and rituals and rhythms. That will help. We need to cook. We need to clean. We need to go outside in nature. We need to do art. That's going to help us transition quickly and bring our nervous system energy down. Yeah, because that's the Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords is a fight or flight kind of heightened autonomic nervous system, the sympathetic nervous system being in a high state of arousal. Okay, and then this, of course, is the slow blending transition, the gradient, right, from one to the other. That's what the Temperance card is. And so I feel like you're kind of always in like pressure cooker mode. We've got to get out of pressure cooker mode and get into whatever the opposite of, what is the opposite of the pressure cooker mode? Let me know your ideas there. We need a good phrase for that. We got to get out of pressure cooker mode and into more of this kind of hermit energy mode, more in the rest and digest kind of mode, yeah. And I think that's going to be something we practice, okay? So you got a Three of Wands over here too. Three of Wands is virtue. Three of Wands is, you know, hard work that is really starting to show real results. And if we want to keep that going, well, we have to rest and digest. We have to recharge so that we can maintain our high level of integrity. This is like your work ethic, you know what I mean? But I think it really is important that you understand how much progress you've made. You stand tall and be proud of your progress, okay? And maybe now is kind of like you just learn how to wait. You learn how to push, work hard, and then switch it off and just wait. Because sometimes the reason why we're in such that anxious state is because we feel like, I need to be doing more. I should keep going. I really want to make some progress here, and I don't want to lose. I don't want to fail at this, so I've got to keep going. And it's sometimes hard for your unconscious to say, no, wait, it's the weekend. You know, all that stuff will be there Monday. It's the weekend. Yeah. So we kind of want to keep going. Even when we're sleeping, it's like we're still working. Yeah. Your efforts are going to pay off. They will return rewards. Yeah. Keep doing the right thing. But make sure that you maintain your high level of integrity, maintain your virtue. And some of that virtue is you have to know when to take care of yourself and when to have that downtime. You have to know how to transition. Maybe it's even a daily, like you get home from work, 5 o'clock at night. How do you transition into family time? It takes you so long to unwind that by the time you're over the day, it's time to wake up and go do it again. Well, that's not going to work. That's keeping your nervous system in that high state of arousal, and that stress is not good for you. Yeah. So, anyway, this is what we see in the environment. This is how you are sort of interacting with the world. People expect a lot of you, a lot from you, and you're giving the world a lot. You're giving all of your relationships the best version of yourself. You got to give yourself the best version of yourself too, you see. And so if you want to keep being the right person for everybody in your life, you got to be the right person for you. And that 9 of Swords needs to stop. Because this is sleepless nights. This is stress and anxiety. That's just like, I have a difficult time transitioning from this to the 9 of Cups, right? And so this is your workday. Stress, anxieties, worry. How do we shut this off and just enjoy and just be? Yeah. Be gentle with yourself. Yeah, we talk it out. Okay. Talk to a trusted friend. Do all the things we already talked about, the rhythms, routines, rituals of your life. Cook, clean, make art, make love, go outside in nature. Okay. Try to release the day as quickly as possible, or the week. Release the rushing anxiety of yesterday, or today, or last week, as quickly as possible. Okay. Breathe. Stay organized. Make sure you've got a plan. Journal, journal, journal. These are ways that you can ease the anxiety. And try doing that right before bed, breathing and journaling, okay? Because that helps to reset the nervous system so we can sleep well at night. Be gentle and kind to yourself right now. No self-criticism, none of these thoughts like, I didn't do enough, I could have done more, I need to go, go, go. Oh, can't believe I did that today. No, today already happened. Why are you still thinking about it? Kindness to yourself, comfort, joy, pleasure, rewarding yourself. That's what cures anxiety. But now we also have a Knight of Swords. These are more fast changes. So we're kind of like last week was busy, rapid changes and a lot of, sort of pivoting and a lot of bold actions and confidence. And next week, too, I feel like is going to be more fast changes requiring your quick and clear thinking. So you have to have time where you can recharge and rest and restore yourself so that you can continue to make good decisions. Okay? So that you can still be sort of charging forward in your life toward your goals, taking bold actions, okay? Responding to challenges when your nervous system is all frazzled. You're going to respond to challenges with anger and frustration and harsh words rather than reason and logic and cool, calm, collected, cucumber, type of energy. So you have to protect your time and you have to focus on what matters when it matters. Don't start getting anxious about the future. It hasn't happened yet. Don't Don't keep worrying about the past. It's already done. Okay? So this is, this is kind of this is the in-between. This is the liminal space. You're trying to enjoy in between a knight and a knight. You're trying to be a queen and a princess. Okay? And treat yourself like that. It's not gender specific. The queen and the princess are the water and earth, passive elements. Okay? The fire and the air, the knights are the fire and, of course, the sword, air. These two are very active, fiery even cards. Okay? Let's look at the mystery card. I want Empress. That's it, Empress energy. If you have a prediction, though, put it in the comments. Let's see what we have. The High Priestess. Yes. Allow yourself the slow down, rest, relax, because that's going to help you really get a good idea of what to do, where to go, what's happening next. Clarity, intuition, trusting yourself, okay? And trusting the universe, trusting your path, trusting progress. Resting and relaxing and restoring your energy and taking care of yourself is a very important step on your road to the Empress life. The High Priestess is always leading you toward your Empress life. Always. Yeah. And you have to trust that the downtime is just as important as the uptime. Okay? Quiet moments help you understand what's really going on here. Listen to your feelings. They'll tell you when you need to rest. Your intuition is whispering. And if it's whispering, it means everything else has to be quiet so you can hear it. Okay? So the quiet time. Quiet time. Private time. Okay? Listening to your dreams. Slowing down enough, calming your nervous system down enough that you can actually have dreams. Sometimes when you're in a very heightened state, you're not sleeping very well at night, you're not really having very many dreams. The dreams are really just like mental detox for a few hours, you know what I mean? We've got to get past that stage so that we can sleep like a baby and we can have the sort of the enlightening dreams that we need. Patience. Don't rush through anything that you're doing right now. You're doing the chores, you're cooking in the kitchen, you're cleaning up little messes here and there, fixing the toilet. Slow. You don't have to be in a rush. Walk slower, talk slower, think slower, breathe slower. Spend time near water if you can. Spend time in silence. Anyway, we're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, we'll do an I Ching hexagram, we'll do oracle cards, we'll clarify love and money, and we'll do the yes/no coin. There should be a link in the corner, and there is a link right below the video. New readings for Pisces on Tuesdays and Fridays. Be sure to watch both readings. Okay. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know, Pisces, that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we are all in this